We go out and have a drink. And we're sitting there having a martini, the two of us. I said, Joe, I want to ask you something. I don't want you to think that I intend to do anything because I don't want you to be nervous. He goes, why should I be nervous? I said, I just want to tell you, I wouldn't know how many of those guys in New York you need to support your operation here, because I honestly can't figure out what they do. And he says, I'll tell you what you should do. I'll tell you how many supports I need. I need minus 30. So I say, Joe, what the hell does that mean, minus 30? Because you don't have the balls to do what I'll tell you to do, just like that. I said, what's that? Get rid of all of them tomorrow. Get rid of all of them. And I'll need 30 people less that have to support them with the numbers that they don't need from me. So I go and I say, hey, it's unbelievable. I can't believe this. Now, today, I would have done it immediately, got rid of the whole bunch of 12 floors. But then I still was wondering, maybe this guy Joe's a little crazy. How can I get rid of 12 floors of people? So I figured, how do I do that? And meanwhile, I knew the guy who owned the building. And he said, Carl, I could use the lease if you get out. And I don't think these people do anything. I watch them. And I said, bullshit, he's a real estate guy. What the hell does he know? So I now go and I figure, what the hell do I do? So there's a consultant around. And, consultants are okay sometimes, not too often, but sometimes. But I brought these guys in, nice guys, Columbia University those days, and they were the great leasing experts of the world. Leasing, they do this for all these companies. I call them in, 3 guys come in, and one is a professor at Columbia, and he says, Mr. Icahn, we understand your problem. Very arcane. I said, yeah, I heard that word before. Really arcane. So I say, I want to know what they do. Don't worry about it. 3 weeks, we'll be back. It's $250,000. I said, okay, I'll pay you $250,000. Come back in 3 weeks. They come back in 3 weeks. Now, this is sort of hard to believe, but it typifies America, but people don't believe it. Comes back in 3 weeks with a book like this. Big book, boom, 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 yellow graphs, red graphs, green graph. I say, hey, I ain't going to read this book. I said, and I'm colorblind anyway. So I say, all I want you to do, here's a yellow pad. I did very well in school. I'm a numbers guy. Tell me what they do. And I said, here's your $250,000. And I give it to him. And he looks at me, he smiles. He says, you know something? You've been square with us, Mr. Icahn. You seem like a good guy. So I'm going to tell you something. We don't know what they do either. I'm not joking. I am not joking. But here's the funniest thing. I mean, it's really sort of funny. I said, screw it. I called Joe up. He comes over. He said, great, do it. I gave him this severance. Nobody was mad. Got rid of the whole 12 floors. Sold the lease for $10 million. That was a lot then. And if you shut down a grocery store, let's say you bought a grocery store and shut it down, you'd hear from somebody. Somebody didn't get the apples right. The pears were rotten or something. If you had a flower shop, the roses wilted. It was like out of a science fiction movie. It's like they never existed.
Now, in case you don't know who he was talking about, he's talking about Showtime. Now, you piece this together with the several other videos that I put out there for you earlier today. And if you're a person that can hear and listen to reason and want to see reason, and at least want to know what's remotely going on, it's not hard for you to put this together. It's not hard. Okay. You know how they feel about departments of Showtime and the streaming platform that's underperforming. They said they're not going to invest in them no more. And they also not going to invest in any of those shows or anything that only covers less than 10% of their crowd base. So you know how they feel about that. And what he was talking about right now is the physical building. So you're hearing cutbacks from outside the office to inside the office. So when Showtime is spinning their wheels, and I heard some of y'all saying, what's up with this Keith Thurman fight? Why they stalling on this? Why this ain't happening? Why this is happening? Why did they give you all those fights with no dates and all that? Come on, y'all, put it together, man. Ain't nobody playing. I'm going to leave you with your own thoughts and what you think about it and just go ahead and piece together, because I can't keep explaining the same thing. There's more to play than you guys just wanting to blame Terrence Crawford not taking this offer, Terrence Crawford not doing this. The man has jumped through hoop after hoop after hoop after hoop, and y'all still playing blind, deaf, dumb, and ignorant. Clear signs of a fanboy, which is why you guys shouldn't be engaging in boxing talk with regular boxing fans. That's just my thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.